Hello, Miss Stark.
Hi, how are you doing today?
Doing good. Yourself?
Good. Did you have a good day yesterday?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. How's everybody else doing?
Pretty good.
Did y'all
Good.
enjoy kind of a day off? I guess you still had to do work, but maybe you
Yeah.
got to sleep in yesterday.
It was kind of like a normal school day for me, actually.
What was yesterday?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Why do you say that was that normal?
Well, I'm used to being homeschooled doing schoolwork online, so kind of normal.
Oh, cool. So you're used to kind of doing more digital stuff, huh?
Yeah.
Very cool. Maybe you can teach me something. Blake, was it you that I saw that is good at making videos?
Hey, Miss Tart, how are you?
Good, Josiah. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Did you get my thing? My it's all about me thing. I don't know if I turned it in right or not.
Did you put it on Canvas?
I did turn it in on Canvas, but like I uploaded a picture.
Yeah, that's fine then.
Okay, I think I did it right then.
But when we get off, I'll double check just to make sure. But
Okay. When is that item due?
all about me,
Yes.
just by Monday, I believe.
Okay.
Because we're gonna
Alright,
go
thank you.
over them next week.
Okay.
We got some people coming in. Hello, Samantha.
Hi. I thought you said we were doing that today.
Yeah.
Well, we were going to, but I'm not sure if I have everybody yet, so I'm going to give everybody a little bit more time. Plus, I want to go over the personality stuff while it's still fresh in your mind, or else you might forget it. So,
I was prepared. I'm prepared.
So is he cutting a pig open in his classroom?
are we cutting a pig open?
Yes, or we just doing the head?
We usually do a small fetal pig, so I mean it's smaller, but we usually dissect.
So we cut in the pig.
I mean, yeah, it's not a
Like
lot.
it's a whole pig.
Yeah, but it's just small, like this.
So do we kill it too, or?
No, it's already dead. We don't do that.
No, I'm ready for that because I like to cut open stuff.
Okay.
I'm ready to cut open the pig so I can see where the pork chop and sausage and stuff come from.
So usually there's like half the kids that are really excited, or maybe a handful of kids that are really excited, and then the rest are like, oh, I don't know. And then there's some that are like, Miss Hart, I'm gonna throw up. Like, I can't.
Yeah, I don't know why people do that. I mean, maybe I'm an explorer. I like to try different things. A dead animal never bothered me. It just never bothered me. Like I got a cousin that it bothers her. Like if somebody like you can go outside and then be a mosquito. If you try to kill it, she'll get mad. Dead animals never bother me. I mean, it's just an animal. I mean, it's never bothered me, but people think different.
I think the smell is part of it.
Oh, it's a smell too?
Yeah, there's a little bit of a smell.
Like, is it because I got a weak stomach? Like, is it a stinky?
No,
Is it
it's because
strong?
they sit in like a fluoride, like I don't know, liquid is what they're preserved in. And so sometimes when you open them, they just have like a formaldehyde type smell. There's only one time that we've opened them and I like almost got sick because it doesn't bother me because I do it so much, but it was just like it burned my eyes, like it was that bad. So hopefully we don't have a batch like that.
I know that's a lot of money to get all them pigs because I know you got a lot of students, so all them little pigs is probably a lot of money to do. Or like, do y'all save them from when the pigs that y'all already have kids?
No, they're not our pigs. We get them from a science company, from a research company. And so they're stillborns that are usually born dead. And so they preserve them for.
Oh, okay. So they're not born alive.
Yeah.
That's good.
Okay.
no. So, you know, that kind of helps make the students feel better sometimes, because some of them are like, what? We're killing pigs just to experiment with them? But no,
Yeah.
we don't do that. So,
Yeah, because I thought they kill them and, you know.
yeah, no. Mm-mm.
Yeah, because in 6th grade, we did a cow eye. That didn't bother me at all.
Really?
We didn't do, yeah, because I thought we was doing the frog, but we did the cow eye.
Last year we did, in animal science 2, we did a cow eye, a cow heart, lung, spinal cord,
Oh, for real?
and I think a kidney, maybe?
So how many sciences is it for animal science 2?
Yep, so there's animal science 1 and then animal science 2.
So if I take these 2, I already took Earth environment, so now I only have to take biology, and I'll be done with science, right? That's 4.
I think you have to have 4.
Yeah, that's 4 right there.
Well, animal science 1 and 2 only counts as one science.
For
together.
real?
Yeah.
So what other science would I have to take? Oh, when I'm taking physical science right now too.
I would say, yeah, physical science or chemistry,
Yeah.
anything like that would work. Yeah.
Nobody told me the animal science only counted, both of them only counted as one science.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
But
Yeah.
is it 2 credits?
Yeah, it's 2 different credits.
Okay.
Like they count as 2 elective credits, but I think it only
Yeah.
satisfies 1 science credit.
Yeah.
You can double check with the counselors. I might be wrong. They may have changed
New
it.
counselors don't be answering the phone. I don't even bother to call them because they haven't been answering. Because I just got my stuff together this morning, and I had to do it by myself because I wasn't informed that my classes was changing. And then they changed the teachers because I thought it was just going to change the class and just change the period. But they changed the teachers, but I still got the same teacher from before because I talked to the teacher and come to find out they share a class together. So, and then Miss Williams is just a substitute. So he was like, he'll just put me in his class. But then I was worried about my grade, but he was like, you'll be fine. So,
Yeah. I thought they were just switching your classes too.
yeah, that's what I thought.
All right. We're going to go ahead and get started. So I'm going to do attendance. So if you are here and you can unmute, please go ahead and unmute to tell me that you are here today. Miss Maggie, are you here?
I'm here.
Hi, Maggie. How are you today?
Hello. Good. How are you?
Good. Christian. If anybody knows Christian Camargo, I don't think I've heard from them this week. I'm gonna try to call them tomorrow, but you know them and can get up with them. Jocelyn Connor. Daniel De Los Santos. Stephen Dare.
Yes, I'm here today, Prof.
Hi, Stephen. Hannah Erdman.
Here.
Chase Hill. Samantha Hunnings.
Hi, Miss Hart.
Hi. Abigail Ireland.
Here.
Thank you, Abby. Hope you're doing good. Aaliyah Jones.
Here.
Christina Kuntz.
Here.
Thank you, Christina. Kaylee McGrath.
Here.
Thank you, Kaylee. Landon Morris. Josie Nelson. Alexander Palma.
Here.
Thank you, Alexander. Timothy Pittman. I'm pretty sure I saw his name. Yeah, okay. Blake Poitras. Oh, he was on earlier. Lexi Price. Emma Rowe.
Here.
Daquan Shelton. And Seth Button.
Here.
And then Josiah. I gotta add you to this.
Here.
You are here. Awesome. I hope you all enjoyed kind of there's Blake. Kind of a day off yesterday, or at least a day without sitting on Zoom in front of a camera all day, maybe. We sat on Zoom most of the day for our meetings, but they weren't too bad, so that was all right. Does anybody have any questions about anything? There's a question.
Did you say my name? If you did, I might not heard you.
Brianna, I did not. I forgot I gotta add you to this list too. I keep adding people and I haven't printed a new roster yet. Christian.
Oh, God.
I miss anybody else? All right. Today we're going to discuss your personality test. Is there anybody that has not taken your personality test yet?
I didn't take it. I didn't know where to go.
Okay. Anybody else?
I did not take it either.
Okay. If you didn't, that's fine. Like I said, you have I don't know, the rest of the week to get work.
Where do I go at to take it?
So you will go.
On Canvas, right? Because I know everything up there.
Yes, on Canvas.
Animal science. Assignment.
Are you in the animal science one? You are now, right?
Okay, I see it now. I see it.
Yeah. So to find everything for the class, you'll always just go to the weekly playlist. And then scroll down and it's the personality assignment.
Okay, I see. I'll take it later. Or unless you want me to take it now.
You can, whenever, it's fine. If you want to take it now while we're talking through it, that's fine. Either way.
Okay.
So then you'll come here to take it. Just make sure you take a screenshot of your results so you kind of can go back and look at those and you know what we are talking about. All right, so if you have not taken it, that's okay. Just take it when you can, and then I'm recording this, so if you need to come back to this lesson to look at it for your assignment, you can do that as well. All right, I'm gonna pull up my results. So before we kind of get into it, I want to talk a little bit about why I make you do this. If you ever take a class with me, you know that we have a section that focuses on leadership. We want to help make you better leaders, better public speakers, better people in general. Because leadership is such a big thing now. It's such a big thing that no matter what career you go into, you're going to have to know a little bit about it. And you're going to have to know how to kind of act in front of people, how to work together with other people, different things like that. And so we kind of help teach a little bit about that. Your personality is a huge part of who you are. Your personality, that kind of envelops exactly who you are. My personality is probably very different from every one of your personalities because we're all different people. But within our personality, we have kind of 4 different main things that make us up. So when we talk about the DISC assessment, right here, so each letter represents a different personality type. And so each of us has every letter in our personality. There's no doubt about it. But there's always going to be one letter that kind of outshines the other for the most part. I did see, I looked at some of your results that sent it in, and there was one at least that I saw where you might have a tie. So when you look at your results, whatever your highest percent is, that's going to be your personality type. So if you don't remember what that is, if you want to pull it up to look at it to kind of follow along, you can. So for me, mine is steadiness. That is 52% of my personality. So when we go down, when we talk about DISC, the D means dominance. The I means influence. The S means steadiness. And the C means compliance. And we're going to talk about what exactly those words mean in relation to your personality. So mine was steadiness. So that means my letter is S. That is my letter. I am an S. So if you got dominance as yours, then D is your letter. If you got influence, then I is your letter. And if you got compliance, then C is your letter. All right, I'm going to give you just a minute. If you don't have your results pulled up, if you can go glance at them real quick. And then in the chat, if you will type what letter you are. So take a second to do that.
I'm gonna go ahead and take it right now.
And if you haven't taken it yet, like I said, that's fine. You obviously can't type a letter. Okay, we got some S's and D's, I's, S and C, S, D, 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 a lot of D's in this group.
Yes. Boy, I have a job.
I want to get in an argument with this group.
You're gonna get in an argument with what?
I said I don't want to get in an argument with this group. There's a lot of dominance.
There's a lot of what? Dominance? That doesn't mean they like to argue.
I like to argue. So I'm playing. So is it like the higher the letter, the gooder, the lower the letter, the better?
No, They're all good qualities. There's none of them are bad. It just means you have more of one in your personality than the other.
Okay.
All right. Hopefully you found it by now and typed it in. Usually I can probably predict what most of you are by this point in class. Sometimes it might take me a little bit longer. It's a little bit harder this semester because I'm not in person with you, so I don't get to know you as well. So some of you I probably would not have picked. But I always find it interesting to see if I'm right about some people. All right, so now we're going to talk about exactly what that means. I've given you this letter, we're talking about your personality, and you're like, okay, well, what does that even mean? Like, I have no idea, I don't understand. So we're going to look at that a little bit. All right, who can tell me how many legs this elephant has? Type that in the chat for me. Okay, we got 4, 5, 5, 4, 5. Looks like 5. Okay. Anybody else see anything different than 4 or 5? No? 4 or 5. 6, we got a 6. Anybody else? 8, 7, 5. I feel like the longer you stare at it, the more you get. All right, well, hopefully, being in animal science, you know that elephants only have 4 legs, but if not, it's a good thing you're here so you can learn that. All right, how many people, if you know how to use the reaction part on Zoom, if you can do the one where you raise your hand if these spin, or when you look at this, if it's spinning really fast.
What does it mean if it's spinning really slow?
Mine not spinning at all.
Not spinning at all, okay. Is anybody spinning really slow?
Yes.
Okay, we got a yes for slow.
Yes.
Okay, another yes. So did we have anybody that was spinning fast at all?
Mine is spinning, like not really fast, but not really slow. Like it's just kind of spinning.
Okay. All right, this is supposed to be a stress test, is what they say. So if it's spinning really, really fast, that means you're under a lot of stress. If it is not spinning, apparently you're a very carefree person today because you are not stressed at all. So if it's only slightly spinning, then I guess you're maybe a little bit stressed. Mine is spinning really, really fast, just so y'all know. Kind of week I've had. All right, Brianna, can you read this for me?
A bird in the bush.
Okay, Samantha, can you read this for me? What?
A bird in the
Okay, Timothy, can you read this for me? Timothy, are you there?
Can you hear me?
No, say it again.
Oh, I said a bird in the bush.
Okay, you're really quiet for some reason. Josiah, can you read this for me?
Bird in the bush.
Why am I
Okay.
reading it wrong?
Isaac or Blake, can you read this for me?
A bird in the bush.
Okay.
Oh.
Miss
Seth,
Tart,
can
you better let me fix this. You better let me fix this, Miss Tart.
Seth, can you read this for me?
Miss Tart, please.
In the bush.
There you go,
Maggie,
Seth.
read this for me.
The bird in the bush.
Do what?
A bird in the bush.
Yes. Okay. So you and Seth.
Come on,
Oh,
Y'all are smarter than this.
I was worried it wouldn't work because we're virtual and it always works in the classroom, but I was worried about
I
virtual.
wasn't paying attention.
That was
to
so weird.
Y'all are all like, why is she telling us to keep reading this? Like, what?
The first time I was like, that's weird. It's a bird in the bush. Then I was like, wait a minute, there's 2 does.
All right, yes, if you go back and carefully read it, it's a bird in the bush. All right, so this activity and the elephant just kind of showcase with the elephant that we all see things differently. You know,
So
one
how-
person sees 4 legs, one person sees 5, one person sees 8. So we all see things very, very differently. We have different perceptions of things. And then this one, a bird in the bush, shows how much attention to detail we actually take. You know, it's right there in front of us and we're told to read it, but we completely miss a whole word. So obviously we're not really focused and we don't pay attention to the detail in that. And so this is, hopefully this activity will kind of help y'all start to you know, kind of pay attention to some of the details of different people and their personalities so that hopefully you can better relate to people. All right, so this is a little kitten, cute little kitten, but when she looks in the mirror, she sees a lion. So, you know, sometimes the way you see yourself might be very different than the way other people see you. And so sometimes, you know, you have to be the person that you want other people to see and how they see you. And so it's always interesting to reflect on that, and hopefully this activity will help you reflect on your personality. All right, we already did the actual test, most of you. So now we're going to talk about exactly what your letter means. So we had a lot of D people in this group, very large amount of D people. So if you are a D person, this slide kind of describes you a little bit. That means you're very outgoing, so you know you're a pretty outgoing person, but you're also very task oriented. So if I put you in a group and you're in a group work, you're going to want to talk to the people, you're going to want to hang out, get to know each other, but you're also going to get that group project done because you want to make sure that that task gets done. So you like hanging out with people, but you're going to also make sure things get done. You're a very dominant, demanding person sometimes. Your symbol is an exclamation point. You're focused, you like to focus on getting the job done, and you like to lead or be in charge. D types can be very self-sufficient, relying on natural abilities. They are constantly looking for new and better ideas and way of doing things.
I do gotta say though, that test was kind of dumb because it just kept asking the same question different ways every.
Yeah, it just asks the same question, and then depending on how many times you put the answer closest to that, it probably gave you the letter. So usually when we're in the classroom, we do this test, and so it's a little bit different, but I couldn't do it on paper, so I found that one. So some of you may feel like this doesn't tell you your personality at all, and that's okay. Sometimes maybe it doesn't get it right. It just depends. So Ds are considered very assertive, very adventurous, original, very decisive, so they make decisions easily, very outspoken, self-certain, and very restless. So if you're a D, they like to say that you're organized like this, but usually when I ask students if this is what their room or area at home might look like, most of them are like, no, my room's really messy. And I'm like, well, that's probably just you're young. That happens. All right, when we are working with people that are Ds, some good things that they are good at. So if you're a D, you're probably really good at helping out in a crisis, knowing what to do if something goes tragically wrong. If you're in a group and you're building a volcano and it explodes at the wrong time, they're probably going to know what to do. So those are kind of those people that you want. They're very focused, highly focused, very specific, usually very direct, and they're a good multitasker. Some things that Ds might need to work on with the triangle: try to listen more, be a little less controlling, appreciate others' opinions and feelings, and explain more of why, and maybe try to seem a little friendlier. Especially when you're in a group and you're trying to get a task done, try to calm down and just kind of be a little friendlier and not so much about getting that task done. All right, if you are an I, how many of these did we have? Maybe 1, 2. In which some of you I think might be I's, so maybe that part of the test it might have gotten it wrong, and that's okay. It does get it wrong sometimes. So I's are very people-oriented and outgoing. So their kind of motto is they enjoy being the center of attention, and they are kind of like the life of the party. So they don't care about the group project, like the actual task being done necessarily. They care about who's in their group, right? Who's going to be in my group that I'm going to talk to? who's going to be there that I can hang out with. They're all about who is going to be around. They don't really know any strangers. These are usually those people that kind of walk in the room and you're like, you feel like you know them, you know, like you've known them your whole life after 10 minutes of meeting them. High I's are usually very social, very friendly. So they might be your friend or person that can kind of persuade you to do anything. They're like, hey, let's skip school today, man. Let's go get lunch, And, you know, they're just very persuasive about that. And so you're like, yeah, sure, let's go. They're usually very high energy. They have a lot of energy about them. So when I think of somebody that is a high I think about Mr. Wallace. He is very high energy. And so he is a very high I. They're also easily distractible. So maybe we're, you know, talking about different types of cows, and then somebody says something about baseball, and then all of a sudden they're on baseball. Like they're just easily distracted, easily pulled in different directions, no matter what. And so if you know Mr. Wallace, you know that that is definitely him. They are poor time managers. So, you know, these are the people that, you know, maybe you're in the hallway and you were talking to your friends and you didn't even notice that the bell rang. That's because, you know, you're just so enwrapped in socializing that maybe you didn't notice it. So you're considered a poor time manager. They focus on people rather than the task, and they tell rather than ask. So I's are very persuading. Usually they're very talkative. In second period, I had somebody that was an I, and he said that in classes he was usually called motor mouth because he talked all the time. So they're usually very charming, very impulsive, and so they're kind of all over the place. So their room might look like this. When you're working with an I, some good things about them: they're good at communicating with people. They're very influential. So maybe if your group task is to get Mr. Wallace to approve Chick-fil-A on campus, you might want a person that's an I in your group because they're good at influencing people and motivating people to do things. They're very positive and very enthusiastic. If you're an I, maybe some things you could work on: slowing down a little bit, trying to focus, keeping track of time, talk less, listen more, and consider other people's ideas. All right, our S people. If you're an S person, I'm an S person. Usually I go back and forth between an S and an I, but I'm more on the S side of things. They're very reserved, but they still like people. They bring a balance to people. Their outlook on life is, can't we just all get along? And their motto is, working together, we can do it. So these are the people that, you know, when you're in a group and you've got two strong personalities and they start arguing, this is going to be your peacemaker. This might be your friend that is always in the middle and just tries to get you to get along because they just want harmony. They just want everyone to be happy.
I'm in too.
All right, they're very consistent, very accommodating, peace-seeking. They like helping and supporting other people. Usually these people make good listeners, counselors, or teachers. And they have a close relationship with a few friends. S's, they're very accepting, gentle, grateful, accommodating, things like that. So if you're an S, some things you're good at: you're a great manager, you focus on people, you really care about people, you have good common sense, and you're all about a team effort. Some things you can work on if you're an S: be more open to change, more direct in your interactions. I'm not a person that likes conflict, so I'm not going to just go up to you and tell you that I have a problem with you and that, you know, I don't like you or something like that, because I don't like conflict. I just want everybody to be happy. So, you know, something I could work on as an S is to be more direct about my interactions. confront my problems, show initiative, or express feeling. And lastly, our C people. So C's are usually task-oriented / reserved. They focus on making sure things are done correctly. Their outlook is to be conscientious and consistent. So if you're a C, you're usually very thoughtful, very bright, very smart, and they usually know how to take on a big project and break it down. So high C's are very slow and critical thinkers, logical, fact-based. They don't show their feelings very often. They might have a very private, close group of friends, and they look at the big picture. They're very precise, tolerant, diplomatic, logical, curious, very cautious. So this might be what their room might look like. When you're working with a C, some things that they are very good at. They're good at organizing things. So they might be the person that's in your group for the project that organizes, where you keep all the information or where you keep your poster or things like that, because they know where it's at. It's very organized. They're very consistent. They do quality work. They're going to make sure that your group project is the highest quality that it can be. Some things that C's can work on: doing the right things, not just things right, building more relationships, making decisions quicker, and focusing less on the facts and more on the people. All right, so quickly in the chat, if you agree that your letter personality, if that kind of described you a little bit, you agree with it, tell me if you agreed or if you didn't agree. So yes or no, or kind of, or maybe it did a little bit, but not really. Let me see what you think. So Maggie, yes. Joanna, yes. Emma, yes. Isaac, good. I like to see when it works, okay, for the most part. And like I said, it's not always right on, so just a little bit, but not quite. Josiah, I would have thought you were an I, is what I would have guessed.
You thought I was an I? What is an I? Let me see.
They're like the center of attention, life of the party. You feel like you know them your whole life. Very talkative, outgoing.
Oh no, I don't like to talk to people. I don't like to. I have a very
No?
don't like to talk to people. I can change my attitude. I have a moody attitude. I don't like being around a lot of people.
Okay, so maybe not then.
Yeah, but I can be talkative at times. I just don't like to talk to people. It depends on what my mood is that day.
Samantha, yours does.
Yeah.
Tim, you say no. Leah agrees. Alex agrees with theirs. Good. All right. Timothy made a point about he felt like he had a little bit of all of them, and like I said, we do. There's a chance that if you took this test tomorrow, you could get a completely different result. Or sometimes it might depend on who you're around. Maybe if you're around a certain group of friends, you're more outgoing. Or maybe if you're around a certain group, you are not. You're very shy, very reserved. So it can depend, on the day. But all of us have all of these personalities in us. There's just sometimes, the one that we have more of. And so as we work together in groups, it's very important to make sure that we want, somebody of each letter in our group. If we have a group of all I's, that group project might not get done because they're all about talking, being social. And so sometimes they need, an S to bring harmony, or a D to keep them on task, or maybe we need a C to make sure it's high quality and done right. So it's very important, you know, when you're forming groups or when you're working with people to kind of think about like, okay, what personality, what letter am I seeing from them? And then that'll help you figure out how to get along better with them. So, you know, if an I is getting really irritated because all we're doing is working, like, can't we just take a break? It's like, you know, that person needs some socialization, needs time to just kind of relax and get to know everybody. So then you can say, all right, yeah, we can, you know, let's take a 5-minute break and just get to know each other. And that way they get their I time to socialize and to, you know, meet other people and not just focus on this project. So that's really important to know. All right, where are some places, you can unmute to tell me this, but where are some places where you might need to know each other's personality other than like group projects or in class?
Maybe like if you're meeting a new person and if you're like, if this person's very outgoing and you know ahead of time if you're like in a bad mood, you know not to talk to them because you won't be in the mood for that, like that kind of thing.
Okay, good. So maybe meeting new people, you know, sometimes when you meet new people, it's easy to tell, like, hey, me and this is my person, like, we get along great, like, we're gonna be besties. But sometimes when you meet new people, it might be like, maybe our personalities just clash, like, they're a really nice person, but we might not be best friends, and that's okay. So it might help you kind of figure that out and so that you can kind of tell. What else?
At work.
At work, yes, that is a very big one. Whether you have a job now that you work at or in the future, wherever you work, it's always going to be helpful to kind of know each other's personality. So I know, you know what, I know that Samantha's a C or a D, and I know she likes things done a certain way. So whatever work I have to turn into her, I'm going to make sure it's done right and done however it's supposed to be, so that she doesn't have to come and talk to me about it or tell me how to do it. Or it's good to know kind of how they what their personality is, so you can kind of tell how to react to them and how to best help them too. Work is a very big one. Where else? Where else are you gonna maybe need to know people's personality?
At church.
Church, that's a good one. Yep.
Probably at work.
Work, yep. Think about other things that are not class oriented at school. What are some other things? What?
Sport.
Yes, sports are a big one, definitely. You need to know how to work with your teammates, knowing their personality, being able to tell when they're not on their game or when they're ill and you need to step away. That's a good thing to know. Anywhere else that you can think of? What, Sam?
Relationships.
Yes, I was about to point that out. So relationships are a huge one. It's not something that we automatically think of when we think of knowing people's personality. But even within your own family, the people that you live with, it's a great thing to know their personality. Maybe you want to make them take this test so that you can understand why they are the way they are sometimes. Maybe it'll help you understand why, your brother's so loud, or, why your dad's so loud. Like, they're high eyes. They just can't help it. They have a high energy. sometimes eyes just can't help it. They don't mean to be loud, they're just energetic. For me, I know that, for me and Mr. Warmack, he finally learned that it is just not in my personality to be on time. I'm just not that person, and I'm just late everywhere. And so he finally learned that so that he could tell me 30 minutes ahead of when we actually needed to leave, so then I'd actually be on time. So, if we're supposed to be somewhere at 5 o'clock, he says we're supposed to be somewhere at 4:30. And then that helps so that he knows that about my personality so that we're on time. Anybody else have a situation that they can relate this to?
Yeah, family is really very important because you got like my dad's oldest sister. She's very loud. She's a loud person. That's just how she is. You might think she's cussing at you, but she's just a loud person. Then you got my baby. You got the baby girl. She's very quiet. Then you got my dad. He's just moody. You just never know. So when he walked through the door, what mood he's in. He might be in a talkative mood, or he might not just want to be bothered. So a family is very important because you just in a relationship with your girlfriend or spouse because you just don't want to mess up nothing. So it's very important.
Definitely relationships are a big one. Even if you just start dating them, maybe get them to take a personality assessment, and maybe that'll help y'all not get in fights as much.
Yeah.
Anybody else have a
What about like a sports team?
Yeah, so can you provide an example for a sports team, Aaliyah?
Like for basketball or softball, like you have the team leader, which is like the dominance, the D. You have the one that can kind of goof off at like practice and talk to everybody. And you have the quiet ones, and you just have different personalities all around.
Yeah, exactly. That's a great example because you're always going to have those dominant ones, that are they have that dominant personality. And so sometimes you might think that they're being mean, and that's not the case. That's their personality to be that dominant aggressor and encourage you they want to win. So they're going to encourage you to work hard and might yell at you sometimes. Anybody else have a good one?
There's that time I went on the mission trip and I worked on a project building picnic tables.
That's a great one. Picnic tables, that's cool. But yeah, anytime you're working with a group, and especially with building, I would think it would come out even more so. But yeah, definitely working with a group can always cause those dynamics. Anybody else? All right, well, I'm gonna switch gears real quick to show you your assignment that goes along with this. It's just a reflection. And so you're just gonna type out a reflection, not only about your personality and if you felt like this matched your personality, but also about why it's important to know each other's personality. So the 4 questions that you need to answer: what personality did you get? What were some of the main traits that represent this personality? And just in case you can't remember this PowerPoint, I'm going to put this PowerPoint online so you can go back and reference those traits so that you can have those. Number 2, do you agree or disagree with your results? Why or why not? Number 3, why is it important to know your own personality? Why is it important to know other people's personalities? And number 4, do you think as a human our personalities change over time? Why or why not? So most of this we kind of talked about and kind of went through, so hopefully you have some ideas of what you can write for these. For number 4, we didn't talk about as much, but if you take my 2nd level class, we take a different personality test. It's a little bit more in depth, so it tells you a little bit more, but anytime that you grow, even if it's from one year to the next. I know Aaliyah and Emma were both in my ag science class, so they've taken this test before, but they may have gotten different results a year later. So sometimes they may not. You may take this again in 10 years and it'd be the exact same. But as we grow and as we go through different experiences, there's a good chance that our personalities change. So, you know, as we evolve, our personalities will too. All right, any questions on any of that? Okay. So just a reminder, so your personality reflection paper, you have, I think it's due like Monday, but you have today little time. I took up a lot of time today, but and then tomorrow, that's really the only thing you're working on. We'll hop on Zoom. We have some fun things we're gonna do tomorrow, but that's your main thing you'll work on tomorrow. Then your weekly check-in is just a form that we have to ask you some questions about technology and internet. So if you'll click that, it'll pull it up, and you just fill that out and click submit. That's your week 1 check-in. Just a reminder, if you have not done your All About Me slide or slides, you can't fit it all on one slide. You can do it on more than one, that's fine. But once you do it, come here and click submit assignment. And then you should come down here and you have to move over to Google Drive. And then you should be able to access your Google Drive. I don't know if it'll let me do it or not. It should though. But then you find the assignment, you click it, and then you click submit. If for some reason you can't figure this out, you can also do a file upload and take screenshots of it and just upload it as a picture. That's always an option too. All right, any questions? All right. Well, feel free to hop off if you don't have any questions. If you want to stay on and hang out, you're more than welcome to do that as well. I'll be here for a little bit.
See y'all later. My sister's got to do band.
Oh, nice. Bye, Brianna.
Bye. You can call me Anna.
Anna. Okay, thanks.
Bye-bye. See you later.
Bye, Josiah.
We'll see y'all
Talk to you
tomorrow.
later.
Bye,
Bye,
See you
Miss
tomorrow.
Bye.
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 Bye, Seb.
Bye.
Bye, Alex. Hey, Fan. Are you saying bye?
No, I was saying hi.
Okay.